Okay, so you know how we love to really get into the good stuff, right? So today we're diving into these excerpts you sent over from Tousling Mediocrity, Paths to Aspiration.
Yeah, this one's really interesting. It's kind of all about, figuring out when it might be time for a change in your life.
Right, exactly. Is it time to shake things up? How do we even know?
Totally. And then how to even choose a path once you've decided you need a change.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? A
Yeah.
path that actually feels fulfilling, not just the next logical step or
Yep.
whatever.
Right. And the source actually uses this interesting word, tousle. Have you ever heard that used like that?
Tousle. Yeah, I mean to mess up your hair.
Yeah, to make untidy, kind of ruffle things up a bit.
Yeah.
So we're talking about tousling mediocrity. What do you think that even means?
Okay, now that's an image. I'm getting chills already. But it makes sense when you think about how the source starts off. It talks about how mediocrity can be so comfortable.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's tempting to just stay in that cozy little rut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But eventually it leaves us wanting something more. You ever felt that? Things are okay, but there's this nagging feeling that there should be more.
Oh, all the time. I think it's totally natural, though. The source actually says that we're, hardwired for growth.
Hardwired for growth, huh?
Yeah, they call it aspiration. It's like this basic human need to reach for something beyond where we are now, to strive for something better.
I like that, aspiration.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? What does the source say about actually getting to that something better?
Well, it lays out these two main paths for aspiration. One is that classic climbing the corporate ladder thing.
The corner office, the big paycheck, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. What society kind of drums into us from day one.
Right. Go to school, get a good job, work your way up the ladder.
Yeah, but the source also talks about this other path, the intrinsic path.
Intrinsic dot meaning.
It's about following your heart, basically, your passions. What feels right for you personally.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But how do you even define success on that path? It's not like there's a clear set of milestones, right?
That's a good point. It's less about hitting specific external markers and more about aligning your actions with your values.
So, even if you're not raking in the big bucks, you feel a sense of purpose.
Exactly. And the source actually highlights a bunch of really successful entrepreneurs who totally embody this. They didn't necessarily start with some grand master plan or anything.
They just followed their gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were driven by this genuine passion and a desire to make a real impact, which can be risky.
Way riskier than that steady corporate paycheck, right?
Definitely. But then again, the source also points out the risks of the corporate path, too.
Which are?
Well, that stability can actually breed complacency. You can get so comfortable that you stop pushing yourself, you end up on autopilot.
And before you know it, you've spent years in a job that makes you miserable.
It happens all the time. You think you're making these safe, responsible choices, and suddenly you wake up and realize you're trapped.
Oh, that's the worst. There's actually this super powerful image in the source that totally captures that feeling.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It's a cartoon of a person staring into their closet. And it's packed with the exact same outfit over and over again.
Whoa.
Right. They look comfortable in their little matching set, but there's this look of panic in their eyes.
Oh my gosh. I know exactly what you mean. Like you said, safe and responsible choices, but then suddenly you feel suffocated.
It's like you're trapped by your own success, in a way.
The source calls that the trap of conformity. I think that's a great way to put it. You're surrounded by all these expectations, all these billboards that block your view of what truly matters.
Billboards. I like that. So how do we break free? How do we tear down those billboards and find our own path?
Well, sometimes it happens by choice, and sometimes it's thrust upon us,
Meaning?
Well, the source makes this really interesting point that sometimes failure on one path can actually launch you onto a different one.
Like a course correction?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you hit a wall in your corporate climb, and suddenly those intrinsic dreams you've been ignoring start looking a lot more appealing.
Suddenly that closet full of the same outfit doesn't seem so cozy anymore, huh?
Not at all. And that, to me, is the essence of tousling mediocrity. It's about shaking things up, disrupting the status quo, and seeing what happens.
Okay, so we got to tousle our mediocrity. But how? Do we just quit our jobs and run off to join the circus?
Not necessarily. But it does take courage to step outside of your comfort zone, to question the path you're on, even if it looks good to everyone else.
So it's about tuning out the noise, those billboards, and figuring out what truly resonates with us.
Exactly. There's this Ogden Nash poem the source quotes that really drives this home. It goes, "I think that I shall never see a billboard lovely as a tree. Perhaps unless the billboards fall, I'll never see a tree at all."
Wow. That's beautiful and so true. It's like We're so bombarded with these messages about what we should be doing, what success looks like, that we forget to look around and see the beauty in our own unique aspirations.
Absolutely. Those billboards can really blind us to the trees, to the things that truly matter to us as individuals.
So what are we waiting for? Time to grab a rake and start tousling.
All right, let's get to work.
All right, listeners, that's our deep dive for today. But before you go, we want to leave you with this. What's something in your life that feels like a billboard, blocking your view of something more meaningful? What would it take to tousle your mediocrity and create space for something new to grow? Think on that, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.